Hey everyone, my name is Amy. I'm from realeNglishConversations.com, where we help people to improve their speaking confidence and fluency. And a lot of the advice that I share on the website actually comes from my own personal experience with learning a language on my own as an adult. And today the advice is no exception. I want to talk about how you can recognize when you've actually reached your goal with language learning. Because honestly, it's not exactly clear. It's not like, oh, hey, you've reached the finish line, you can stop now. It's more like a feeling that you have inside, and each person is going to be a little bit different with their goals and their expectations. But in this video, I'm going to share my personal experience, what I'm thinking, and how I'm feeling near this time where I feel like I can actually say, hey, guess what, guys? I speak 2 languages. So for me, it has been very difficult because I have a bit of a tendency to be a perfectionist. And if I feel like I still have more to learn, then no, I don't speak the language. But really, I have to look at it from a practical perspective, and really some of the experiences that I've had recently that really tell me a different story. So last week, I'm going to tell you about 4 different things that happened. But first, I just want to let everybody know, not everybody knows about me, and that my husband Curtis and I moved to Mexico about 2.5 years ago. So I think this is an important detail to talk about. Most people say, oh, you live in Mexico. Oh, okay, your Spanish must be perfect by now. But the truth is that I work in my house. I am always doing things in English. I'm working in English, teaching in English every single day. And I speak English with Curtis. So my whole life is pretty much in English, apart from the time where I go outside to do different transactions, or maybe I have a Spanish friend that comes over. But it really is very few and far between these experiences that I have. I've had to continue to take Spanish lessons. I take 2 lessons a week. I, watch movies, read books, do other activities in Spanish. Sometimes I actually study, like try to learn something new and put in some effort. But for the most part, that's the extent of my Spanish practice that I have. It's not that I'm living day in and day out with Spanish speakers and getting to this phenomenal level because of immersion. Definitely not. I live in an English bubble, 100% or 95%, let's say. So now I'm going to talk about the series of things that I had to do last week and why I finally have said, I think I've reached my goal. In my mind, my goal of being, bilingual, or saying that you're able to speak another language, looks something like someone who can speak just like a native speaker. They don't make any errors. They don't need to think about anything. They have all the vocabulary that they could ever need to know. They know all of the expressions of the language. And that goal is honestly just crazy. Anybody who's learned a language knows the more you learn, the more you realize there is to learn. There are regional differences, the expressions are unlimited, and really trying to acquire a vocabulary that's taken you 30 years to develop, or 40, or however old you are, is crazy to try to have that same expectation in a new language. However, last week I had 3 difficult situations. One, I had to do a renewal for my temporary residency with the Mexican immigration office. Number 2, I had some different errands that I had to run, responsibilities I was taking care of outside of the house. One of them was opening a second bank account, another task that was not exactly easy. And the third one was actually registering myself at the tax office, the Mexican tax office, which again is not an easy task. But in all of those situations, I was able to handle everything okay. I understood the people speaking with me. I was able to answer them. The communication was not an issue. And I didn't use my dictionary throughout this entire process, which tells me, hey, guess what? You can communicate in this language and you're doing pretty good. Okay. So that was one mark where I was like, pretty good, Amy. Maybe you actually speak the language now. And I wasn't really convinced until something that happened on Saturday. I went out on Saturday afternoon to go try to find a new pair of pants. And I was at the department store. I tried on a few different sizes, whatever. I found the pants that I wanted. I went to the cashier to pay for the things that I wanted. And the lady, she asked me for a driver's license or a piece of ID. And because I had to prove that the card was mine, and she wanted to have my phone number. After I said the phone number to her, which came out naturally because I use my phone number all the time, she said to me, wow, your Spanish is really good. Are you from here? And I said, well, I live here, but I'm originally from Canada. And she said, oh, but you must be married to a Mexican, right? And I said, no, actually, my husband is Canadian and speaks English. And she said to me, no, how did you do that? How can you speak the way that you speak right now without being married to a Mexican, basically? And I thought, you know what? This woman's response was absolutely genuine, that this is how she perceived my ability to communicate in the language. And I think, okay, there are some areas where maybe I don't know the grammar rules specifically, and I make some mistakes with masculine and feminine, and I don't know, some of the difficult tenses that I don't use very often. And I know I don't have this extensive vocabulary like I do in English. I don't know all of the informal slang things and whatever, but I'm able to communicate. I get complimented on my ability to communicate all the time. So really, the only thing that's missing at this point is me accepting the fact that I speak another language. I speak Spanish and English. Okay. I don't know if I feel comfortable saying I'm bilingual. I don't know. Maybe in another year when I can really speak without thinking at all in any situation, then I might give myself the bilingual badge. But right now, I feel that I've reached a really good level with my communication, and I'm really confident with it. So I think based on my story, you might be feeling the same thing. This little gap that you can see between where you are now and this dream that you have in your head or something about what your fluency or your goal would look like when you reached it is probably going to be different than what it actually is. In my case, it wasn't like somebody said, yep, Amy, you've passed the test. You can speak Spanish. It's a feeling that I have inside, a confidence that I have inside, where I'm not scared of different situations. I don't avoid talking about different things because I'm thinking I'm going to look like an idiot or something like that. And you probably will experience similar feelings when you get to this point as well. So it's really just up to you deciding what your goal is. Maybe your ultimate goal is this super awesome level of the language, which probably is going to take like another 5 or 10 years to develop, but I'm okay with the level I'm at now. And however long this little part of the language takes me to learn is fine. I am going to enjoy learning new things. I love learning new things. I'm never going to stop learning. I'm still learning in English, so Spanish is no exception. I'm going to be learning in that language as well. If you're looking to get more advice about how to improve your language skills, to maybe get to the level I'm at now, and some of the ideas that I have to get that final gap closed with my own communication, this is the type of information that I share on our website. Really, the type of information you need to know how to reach fluency with the activities that you need to get there. We have conversation speaking practice sessions with me or Curtis or another native speaker and other members that you can join. And also a WhatsApp speaking practice group, for example, which is really cool. It keeps you connected and practicing the language on a daily basis. So you can find out more about this at our website, realenglishconversations.com. Join us as a free member to check it out. And after that, I hope to see you as a regular member, because it would be really cool to have you in one of our conversation practice sessions and actually meet you. So we'll see you next time. Take care.